Okay, it says we're live. Good. All right. So we are back for another episode of live Clow card readings. All right. Don't have as much news today, so if anybody would like their fortune told, as always, just comment gender, zodiac sign, and if you would like career, romance, or general future. There will only be two more episodes after tonight, and that will conclude the show. We haven't really gotten requests for what I do here, so I think we'll just conclude the series basically after two more episodes. If more people actually wanted me to keep doing it, well, the way I see it, they could easily just comment their fortunes and there would be more of a demand for it. Because just because you get a specific reading one night, you might get a totally different reading down the road. So anybody who would have come and had their fortune told in the past, I would invite you actually all to come back and do it again if you like. But if nobody does within the next two episodes after tonight, then that will conclude the series. No point in really doing it if nobody else wants their fortune told, because I could easily just do it by myself for myself without doing a live broadcast. But I've tried to always keep Tuesday available to do this. Now, sometimes I do it at 8, and that's usually because if I'm eating dinner at 7, I try to get done quick enough that I can still do it at 8. If I have dinner before 7, then I try to start by 7. Just in case people are a little confused about the time. Anyways, we will start off with our general future reading. We will read a bit of Neville Goddard, and then we will discuss the news that there is as far as Super Kami Guru Alucard and all the latest developments regarding my new project, The Point to Prove. And Hitomi Shimatani, as always, too. Just because it's nice talking about her. Alright, so all great Clow cards of Kuro Rido, using the power of the sun, the moon, and the stars, reveal to me the message for my general future, given with wisdom from the guidance of universal consciousness and infinite intelligence. Reis. All right. So the first 5 cards we have is the Fight card, the Wave card, the Power card, the Bubbles card, and the Jump card. Now, the combination of these cards tells me a very interesting message. The fact that we have Fight and Power together is very interesting because you can't overcome Fight without the Power card. Whereas the Power was actually overcome by time, oddly enough. So, the fact that Power is here with Fight shows almost like the Power takes majority over the actual struggle. The fact that we have the Wave here, it's almost indicating go with the flow, that everything has to run its own natural course. The Bubbles card suggests that things are finally starting to come to the surface, good and bad, things that were sort of buried within my mind and what I'm going through with my current adventures in life. The Jump card indicates taking leaps and also like jumping from one sort of state to the other. And I find like lately I've been doing that a lot. So overall, I would get the reading from these 5 that everything is actually running its own natural course, but this is kind of like the time to hang on and really give it my all and not back down. That things are really progressing exactly the way they need to be. All right, let's see for more clarity what other messages the cards will reveal to me. Release. Very interesting. Okay, so first we have the Move card. followed by the big card, the return card, the flower card, and the glow card. Now, the combination of these 5 cards suggests too, especially with the other 5 before it, so I can get a clear reading of all 10 together. All right, so the move is indicating that there is movement going on, that now is the time to move towards things as best as I can. But even if it seems like there isn't much movement going along, the fight to try to make movement is not necessary because things are moving. The big indicates that big things are actually starting to go into motion. The return card is suggesting that there might be some things from the past that I have returned to lately that either serve me or they're a reminder of what to do moving forward. And also, it's also suggesting that I've been repeating cycles that maybe I shouldn't as well. The flower card indicates that, especially with manifesting, it's the time of harvest, the crops are about to reap. You also look at it as with Thanksgiving coming up, that was the time of celebrating harvest. So that could be an indication of that. And then we have the glow card, which means things are finally starting to shine their light where it appeared things were dark. Almost like focusing on the light will help you find your way out of the dark. So, very interesting message. I definitely see that has significance, especially with my own experiences lately. Next, we will do general. Oh, actually, no, we did general future, so we'll do career, then romance. We'll switch it up tonight. Okay, so all great Clow cards of Kurorido, using the power of the sun, the moon, and the stars, reveal to me a message regarding my career tonight. Release. Okay, so first we have the voice card, followed by the race card, the mist card, the Libra card, and the fly card. Now, what's interesting about this is, especially because I'm a recording artist, like it makes sense that the voice card would pop up. It's always like the song card or the voice card pops up with these kind of readings. It's interesting. But the voice is indicating that is my strength. That's what I should use to the best of my ability. The erase card indicates that there's a time of like leaving things behind with the past. Also, it might be regarding certain work. Some work might not be as good, it could be done better. So it would be best to erase it and basically reconstruct it in a better form. The miss card indicates confusion, a deterioration of things as well, which could tie into the erase card, that things that aren't so good have to dissolve to make way for the new things. The Libras indicate bringing more balance into the picture of focusing on the work and not so much personal life, but to find balance between the two. The fly card is indicating travel. It's indicating elevating to new heights. And it's also an indication of being free. So the fact that we have all 5 of these cards here suggests too that the overall message is to keep doing what I'm doing. And that will lead me to where I desire to be. So last we will do romance. Oh, great Clow cards of Kurorido, using the power of the sun, the moon, and the stars, reveal to me a message regarding my romantic situation with the one I love most. Release. The rain, the freeze, the fiery, and the sakura. Okay. So first we have the Nothing card, the Rain card, the Freeze card, the Fiery, and the Sakura card. So the combination of these cards suggests, okay, so we break it down first. We have the Nothing card, which indicates that, and especially I can relate to this, it feels like there's more I want to do. And yet I feel like my own intuition and my inner spirit has been trying to tell me not to worry so much about it, that there is nothing I need to do and nothing I can do. You can't really alter a person's free will, as a lot of people believe. You just have to trust that things will work themselves out in the best way possible. The rain indicates that this kind of seems like sort of the downpour lately, and I could relate to that. I mean, I can understand and resonate with what it's trying to tell me, because there's been certain girls who have shown up in my life recently who appeared interested at first, but then they kind of just watered away, and it also ties into the freeze card. It seemed like there was a bit of pouring, but then it froze. It became stagnant. It didn't progress anymore, which is indicating me to focus back on what I actually want, which would be Hitomi-chan. And that's probably the reason for these two cards in the midst, along with the Nothing, is that all these things that seem like opportunities are not the right ones. To leave it be, if they're not progressing the way I would want, there's probably a good reason for that. It's because they're not the right one. Now, the Fiery indicates that there's a lot of passion towards the one I want, a lot of heat, um, a lot of power and energy put out. It's a very fiery connection that I'm seeking, and I want it to be right. The desire is a burning one, so to speak, is what that indicates. And then we have the Sakura card, which basically ties into the idea of loving yourself, focusing on yourself, and being the hero of your own story, which makes a lot of sense. Focus on yourself, and the right one will come, in other words. So there we have our 3 readings for myself tonight. If anybody else would like a reading before we conclude the broadcast, as usual, I tell you, just comment gender, zodiac sign, and if you would like career, romance, or general future, and we will get into your reading as well. Now we will read some Neville Goddard and discuss the news in the meanwhile. So tonight we will read another chapter of Freedom for All. And this one actually appears to be a longer chapter, but we do have a lot of time since the reading didn't take too long tonight. Let me clear my throat. All right. Chapter 4 of Freedom for All. The Secret of Feeling. The secret of feeling, or the calling of the invisible into visible states, is beautifully told in the story of Isaac blessing his second son Jacob by the belief based solely upon feeling that he was blessing his first son Esau. It is recorded that Isaac, who was old and blind, felt that he was about to leave this world, and wishing to bless his first son Esau before he died, sent Esau hunting for savory venison, with the promise that upon his return from the hunt he would receive his father's blessing. Now Jacob, who desired the birthright or right to be born through the blessing of his father, overheard his blind father's request for venison and his promise to Esau. So as Esau went hunting for the venison, Jacob killed and dressed a kid of his father's flock. Placing the skins upon his smooth body to give him the feel of his hairy and rough brother Esau, he brought the tastily prepared kid to his blind father Isaac. And Isaac, who depended solely upon his sense of feel, mistook his second son Jacob for his first son Esau, and pronounced his blessing on Jacob. Esau, on his return from the hunt, learned that his smooth-skinned brother Jacob had supplanted him, so he appealed to his father for justice. But Isaac answered and said, "Thy brother came with subtly, and hath taken away thy blessing. I have made him thy Lord, and all his brethren have I given to him for servants. My throat's really dry tonight. I should have had something to drink first. Oh well. Simple human decency should tell man that this story cannot be taken literally. There must be a message for man hidden somewhere in this treacherous and despicable act of Jacob. The hidden message, the formula of success, buried in this story, was intuitively revealed to the writer in this manner. Isaac, the blind father, is your consciousness, your awareness of being. Esau, the hairy son, is your present objectified world, the rough or sensibly felt. The present moment, the present environment, your present conception of yourself, in short, the world you know by reason of your objective senses. Jacob, the smooth skinned lad, the second son, is your desire or subjective state, an idea not yet embodied. A subjective state which is perceived and sensed, but not objectively known or seen, a point in time and space removed from the present. In short, Jacob is your defined objective, the smooth skinned Jacob or subjective state seeking embodiment or the right of birth when properly felt or blessed by his father, when consciously felt and fixed as real, becomes objectified, and in so doing, he supplants the rough, hairy Esau or the former objectified state. Two things cannot occupy a given place at one and the same time. And so, as the invisible is made visible, the former visible state vanishes. Your consciousness is the cause of your world. The conscious state in which you abide determines the kind of world in which you live. Your present concept of yourself is now objectified as your environment, and this state is symbolized as Esau, the hairy or sensibly felt, the first son. That which you would like to be or possess is symbolized as your second son Jacob, the smooth skinned lad, who is not yet seen, but is subjectively senses and felt, and will, if properly touched, supplant his brother Esau or your present world. Always bear in mind the fact that Isaac, the father of these two sons or states, is blind. He does not see his smooth skinned son Jacob, he only feels him, and through the sense of feeling, he actually believes Jacob, the subjective, to be Esau, the real, the objectified. You do not see your desire objectively, you simply sense it, feel it subjectively. You do not grope in space after a desirable state. Like Isaac, you sit still and send your first son hunting by removing your attention from your objective world. Then, in the absence of your first son, Esau, you invite the desirable state, your second son, Jacob, to come close so that you may feel it. Come close, my son, that I may feel you. First, you are aware of it in your immediate environment. Then you draw it closer and closer and closer until you sense it and feel it in your immediate presence, so that it is real and natural to you. If two of you shall agree on earth as touching on any point that they shall ask, it shall be done for them of my Father which is in heaven. The two agree through the sense of feel, and the agreement is established on earth, is objectified, is made real. The two agreeing are Isaac and Jacob, you and that which you desire, and the agreement is made solely on the sense of feeling. Esau symbolizes your present objectified world, whether it be pleasant or otherwise. Jacob symbolizes any and every desire of your heart. Isaac symbolizes your true self, with your eyes closed to the present world. In the act of sensing and feeling yourself to be or to possess that which you desire to be or to possess. The secret of Isaac, the sensing, feeling state, is simply the act of mentally separating the sensibly felt, brackets, your present physical state, brackets, from the insensibly felt, that which you would like to be. With the objective senses tightly shut, Isaac made and you can make this insensibly felt (brackets the subjective state) seem real, or sensibly known, for faith is knowledge. Knowing the law of self-expression, the law by which the invisible is made visible, is not enough. It must be applied, and this is the method of application. First, send your first son Esau, your present objectified world or problem, hunting. This is accomplished simply by closing your eyes and taking your attention away from your objectified limitations. As your senses are removed from your objective world, it vanishes from your consciousness or goes hunting. Second, with your eyes still closed and your attention removed from the world round about you, consciously fix the nature, time, and place for the realization of your desire. With your objective senses closed to your present environment, you can sense and feel the reality of any point in time or space, for both are psychological and can be created at will. It is vitally important that the natural time space condition of Jacob, that is, the natural time and place for the realization of your desire, be first fixed in your consciousness. If Sunday is the day on which the thing desired is to be realized, then Sunday must be fixed in consciousness now. Simply begin to feel that it is Sunday until the quietness or naturalness of Sunday is consciously established. You have definite associations with the days, weeks, months, and seasons of the year. You have said time and again, today feels like Sunday, or Monday, or Saturday, or this feels like spring, or summer, or fall, or winter. This should convince you that you have definite conscious impressions that you associate with the days, weeks, and seasons of the year. Then, because of these associations, you can select any desirable time, and by recalling the conscious impression associated with such time, you can make a subjective reality of that time now. Do the same with space. If the room in which you are seated is not the room in which the thing desired would be naturally placed or realized, feel yourself seated in the room or place where it would be natural. Consciously fix this time space impression before you start the act of sensing and feeling the nearness, the reality, and the possession of the thing desired. It matters not whether the place desired be 10,000 miles away or only next door. You must fix in consciousness the fact that right where you are seated is the desired place. You do not make a mental journey, you collapse space. Sit quietly where you are and make there-ness here-ness. Close your eyes and feel that the very place where you are is the place desired. Feel and sense the reality of it until you are consciously impressed with this fact, for your knowledge of this fact is based solely on your subjective sensing. Third, in the absence of Esau (brackets the problem), and with the natural time space established, you invite Jacob, the solution, to come and fill this space, to come and supplant his brother. In your imagination, see the thing desired. If you cannot visualize it, sense the general outline of it, contemplate it, then mentally draw it close to you. Come close, my son, that I may feel you. Feel the nearness of it. Feel it to be in your immediate presence. Feel the reality and solidity of it. Feel it and see it naturally placed in the room in which you are seated. Feel the thrill of actual accomplishment and the joy of possession. Now open your eyes. This brings you back to the objective world, the rough and sensibly felt world. Your hairy son Esau has returned from the hunt, and by his very presence tells you that you have been betrayed by your smooth-skinned son Jacob, the subjective psychologically felt. But, like Isaac, whose confidence was based upon the knowledge of this changeless law, you too will say, I have made him thy Lord, and all his brethren have I given to him for servants. That is, even though your problems appear fixed and real, you have felt the subjective psychological state to be real to the point of receiving the thrill of that reality. You have experienced the secret of creation, for you have felt the reality of the subjective. You have fixed a definite psychological state, which, in spite of all opposition or precedent, will objectify itself, thereby fulfilling the name of Jacob, the supplanter. Here are a few practical examples of this drama. First, the blessing or making a thing real. Sit in your living room and name a piece of furniture, rug, or lamp that you would like to have in this particular room. Look at that area of the room where you would place it if you had. Close your eyes and let all that now occupies that area of the room to vanish. In your imagination, see this area as empty space. There is absolutely nothing there. Now begin to fill this space with the desired piece of furniture. Sense and feel that you have it in this very area. Imagine you are seeing that which you desired to see. Continue in this consciousness until you feel the thrill of possession. Second, the blessing or the making of a place real. You are now seated in your apartment in New York City, contemplating the joy that would be yours if you were on an ocean liner sailing across the great Atlantic. I go to prepare a place for you, and if I go and prepare a place for you, I will come again and receive you unto myself, that where I am, there ye may be also. Your eyes are closed. You have consciously released the New York apartment, and in its place, you sense and feel that you are on an ocean liner. You are seated in a deck chair. There is nothing round you but the vast Atlantic. Fix the reality of this ship and ocean so that in this state you can mentally recall the day when you were seated in your New York apartment dreaming of this day at sea. Recall the mental picture of yourself seated there in New York, dreaming of this day. In your imagination, see the picture of yourself back there in your New York apartment. If you succeed in looking back on your New York apartment without consciously returning there, then you have successfully prepared the reality of this voyage. Remain in this conscious state, feeling the reality of the ship and the ocean. Feel the joy of this accomplishment. Then open your eyes. You have gone and prepared the place. You have fixed a definite psychological state, and where you are in consciousness, there you shall be in body also. Third, the blessing or making real of a point in time. You consciously let go of this day, month, or year, as the case may be, and you imagine that it is now that day, month, or year which you desire to experience. You sense and feel the reality of the desired time by impressing upon yourself the fact that it is now accomplished. As you sense the naturalness of this time, you begin to feel the thrill of having fully realized that which before you started this psychological journey in time you desired to experience at this time. With the knowledge of your power to bless, you can open the doors of any prison, the prison of illness or poverty, or of a humdrum existence. The Spirit of the Lord God is upon me, because the Lord hath anointed me to preach good tidings unto the meek. He hath sent me to bind up the brokenhearted, to proclaim liberty to the captives, and the opening of the prison to them that are bound. There we go. That concludes that. So, since there's nobody else requesting their fortune told tonight, I will just briefly summarize all the latest developments. So far we've got 2 new songs for A Point to Prove. I will start mastering some of the other songs that I did by myself at the end of this month. And the producer who is doing the mixing and the mastering for the majority of the songs actually has been paid to take on making a beat for the album. So he will produce the instrumentation for this album as well on one track. He hasn't done that since Impulse. He did Cool Vibrations, Impulse, the self-titled track, and he also did Midnight Assassin. So it's the first time he's actually produced an instrumental for me in a long time, but he does good work. I liked his production on Midnight Assassin, Cool Vibrations, and Impulse, and I gave him a very cool concept with the instrumentation for this new song. He's basically going to use um, the instrumental from the Bardock movie, the original Japanese soundtrack. There's a instrumental track called Solid State Scouter by Dragon Magic Orchestra, which is actually a reference to Yellow Magic Orchestra's Solid State Survivor. So it's going to have like a really upbeat, edgy, old school 80s retro Bardock kind of style to the beat. But it's going to be really cool, and I'm excited for that one. I actually wrote a new song yesterday to prepare for that. At the end of the month, I will actually record. If he has the beat done by then I will record that one. If not, I will record another one in its place called Kaichu Doke, which means pocket watch, and that's the plans for the album so far in the latest development stages. Now, I am saving for Japan. I've actually gone through some ups and downs with that, trying to help some people, paying off bills, things like that. It's kind of caught up to me, but gonna keep assuming that I'm already there and things will work themselves out. Now, with Hitomi, sadly, she's not communicating in the VIP fan group anymore. I guess some people have actually done some things that really like upset her and bothered her. So she's just limiting her communication, but I wish her the best. I wouldn't want anything bad to happen to her. And obviously, I love her. So I hope things will work out in the best way possible between us. I want to thank everybody for supporting the song Bokumo Aishiteru Yo. It currently has 3,400 plus views. We're getting closer to 3,500. Let's keep it going. And also another exciting news, Hitomi Shimatani's first album I got, and I finally did receive the CD single for Mystic World, which also has Garasu no September and Baby Baby Baby. All really good songs. So I definitely recommend get the Mystic World CD single if you haven't yet. It's great. Also has the instrumentals on it, which I like even listening to the instrumentals because those beats are funky. They're just upbeat and groovy. And her first album, Papillon, because it was the first time I actually got to sit and listen to the full first album of hers, and it was just incredible. In fact, I was thinking, wow, this album's really solid. In fact, I don't even doubt in its time it was probably one of the greatest albums to come out in Japan. And it's really what helped make her a star because that's where a lot of her first big popular singles actually came out. Papillon or papillon in French translates to butterfly, so that's the idea behind it. It's very pretty. And actually, I had a marathon myself of listening to every Hitomi Shimatani song that I have on CD, like all on my iTunes. I literally played start to finish and I listened to every one. So it was a Hitomi Shimatani marathon. Continue to support her. And another exciting bit of news, which will be the last thing I promise, was to mention that Chihara Minori actually got to throw the opening pitch for the Tigers game in Japan, which was exciting. The introduction announcement was done by Aya Hirano, who plays Haruhi Suzumiya in the anime they did together called The Melancholy of Haruhi Suzumiya. And I also got to watch on Chihara-chan's blog videos for YouTube. She actually had dinner with Aya Hirano, and it was the first time they caught up in a long time because they stayed friends even after they concluded working on The Melancholy of Haruhi Suzumiya together. So that was very exciting, and of course, she always hearts my comments because that's my best friend, and she's wonderful. So that will conclude our broadcast tonight. If you happen to catch the broadcast after we conclude and you would like your fortune told, just comment in the comments for the videos after and just, mention gender, zodiac sign, and if you'd like general future, romance, or career. And if I see your comment, I will be sure to tell your fortune in the next episode. As I said, only 2 more episodes and then we will conclude the series if there are no more requests to keep it going. If people want to see more of it and keep the series going, then please, by all means, comment and let me know. Till next time, though, Super Kami Guru Alucard, peace out. Oyasumi nasai minasan, domo arigatou gozaimasu. Mata ne.